Well, look at JFK. I mean, the truth has not come out about that. We're all like still trying to figure that out. And they're talking in this election like there's going to be a thing. We're going to release the JFK files. Oh, great! We're finally going to know. Nothing. There's nothing.
So why do you think that is? Why has that not been? Because is it because there's nothing there, and what we're told is what happened is what happened?
Trump's own words were, if they showed you what they showed me, you wouldn't release it either.
Wow.
What the fuck does that mean?
I mean, probably means the government assassinated Kennedy.
Well, Kennedy was the government.
Well, I mean, the CIA. I mean,
right.
the deep state or whatever it was at the time. Whoever it was. I mean, there's my friend Evan Hafer from Black Rifle Coffee. He has a theory of his own about Kennedy pulling out air support from Bay of Pigs, and that without air support, that operation could never be effective, and a bunch of people are going to die that shouldn't have died. And a bunch of those guys that were on that beach lost brothers, and they were hardcore, like serious soldiers. Right. And you get those guys to kill Kennedy.
That's interesting.
As revenge. Because it was a very coordinated event. If it went the way the Oliver Stones of the world think it went, which I tend to think he's like pretty accurate. I think he knows what happened roughly. And there's multiple people shooting at the same time, and this should never be allowed to be a path where you're on a convertible with the fucking president and there's bushes and people can hide behind the bushes. You don't have it sussed out. You didn't scan the bushes and make sure there's nobody with a rifle there. Like, the whole thing's nuts. You would never set it up that way if you were the Secret Service.
Well, see, the obvious counter argument to that in my head, I'm just playing the argument out with you. I don't know anything, is what happened to Trump, right?
Well, that's not a counter argument, because the Trump thing is easily the same story if that kid's a better shot. If that kid's a better shot, you have a dead president, and you have a patsy, maybe, who knows. You have some kid who was in a BlackRock commercial 2 years prior who somehow or another has a professionally scrubbed apartment. So they find his apartment. It doesn't have any silverware in it after he's dead. They cremate him within days. There's no toxicology report, no autopsy. There's no information on the kid. He has no social media. What fucking kids have no social media? He has 3 different phones. Why does he have 3 different phones? Why is there metadata from a phone outside of D.C., outside of where the FBI office is, traveling back and forth to this kid multiple times? Why is he training, in like these very technical gun ranges where people are doing like tactical training and stuff like that? Like, what is this guy doing? Like, who's getting him to do this? Why is he doing this? You think he really has knowledge that this thing is going to go down in Butler? Why are they allowing this guy to walk around the grounds with a rangefinder 30 minutes before the event? Why is he's seen? How does he get on the roof? How do they not have someone on the roof? How do they not, like, there's a lot of weirdness to it. Why is it the first one of those things that they're televising live on CNN? There's a lot of weird ones.
So, yeah, it's not a counter-argument. In fact, it backs up the point.
Yeah, not only does it back up the point, like, the kid just sucked. He missed. I don't know what kind of a sight he had on his rifle. He might have had a red dot, but he definitely didn't have, like, a good long-range scope, it looks like, from the video or the images of the rifle that I've seen laying on the rooftop. If he had a really good scope and he was a good shot, that's an easy shot. It's only 150 yards, I think, from that roof, which is also preposterous that you would allow a person to climb onto a roof within 150 yards of a guy who's a very controversial figure who's running for president. It's nuts. The whole thing's nuts.
We interviewed a guy called Michael Francis, who's a former head of one of the big crime families.
I don't think he was head.
Was he not head? Or
he was senior.
He was very senior.
He was a big guy.
Yeah, big guy. And he said when it comes to JFK, he said at the time in the mob, there was a joke where they would say, "Oh, we shot the wrong Kennedy." And he said that it was mob-related.
Yeah.
It could have been.
Yeah.
It could have been.
That.
It could have been multiple different shooters from multiple different organizations. I don't think Lee Harvey Oswald was innocent. People like Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. Like, that doesn't have to be the case. He might have actually even shot at Kennedy. He might have been one of the guys who shot at Kennedy. I think they had him set up to be the guy that takes the blame. Whether or not he actually pulled the trigger, he might have. I'm not opposed to the idea that he might have. What I am opposed to the idea is of a one single shooter causing all that damage, because it's illogical. It's not just illogical. It was created because they had to account for a bullet that hit the underpass. So a bullet ricocheted off one of the curbstones in the underpass and fucked this guy up. And so they found the curb that had been chipped. This guy got wounded. He got hit with a ricochet. He got treated in the hospital. So they know that was one bullet. So now they have two bullets. One is a headshot, and one goes through Kennedy's body and into Connolly's body. The problem with that is Kennedy reacts to a gunshot before Connolly ever does, because Connolly wasn't hit. Connolly was hit afterwards. Connolly was hit after Kennedy was shot in the neck, and then he was shot in the back, and then he was shot in the head. Kennedy was shot multiple times. The one in the neck, he grabs his neck in the beginning of the video. There's two different depictions of what that is. There's the Dallas hospital where they take him right after the shooting, where they say it's an entry wound. And then in Bethesda, Maryland, they say it's a tracheotomy wound. Like they trached him, which is preposterous. He's no head. His head's missing. You put a trach pipe on a guy that is half his fucking head's missing and he's dead as fuck? No, you didn't. No, it's a fucking entry wound. You see him grab his neck. He got shot in the neck. And it looks to me like his head was shot at the very least one time from the front. At the very least one time. But it might have been, his head might have get hit by two bullets at the same time. I mean, there's people shooting at him. I think there was multiple people shooting him from different directions. And he does have a wound in his back. He has an entry wound in his back. So someone probably shot him in the back too. It might have been Oswald. Oswald might have shot him in the back. But I think the back and to the left and the people that all called out that said that there was people firing behind them in the grassy knoll, I bet that's correct. The whole way that they drove. Have you ever been to Dealey Plaza?
No.
It's small. It's real weird. And there's a turn. Like, you have to make this turn. Like, if you were a sniper, you couldn't ask for a better place to set up. Because this guy is going 30 miles an hour or on this stupid little turn and coming straight at you, and you're just sitting there in the bushes. You could peck him off. You could peck him off. The people that say that he couldn't shoot him from the windowsill, it's too hard of a shot, he wasn't a good marksman, shut the fuck up. Anybody could do that. I could show you how to do that. And you could do that I talked to my friend Andy Stump. I was talking about it on the podcast. I said, give Andy a day. And he goes, fuck a day. He goes, give me a couple hours. I could teach you how to do that. It's not that hard. Like with a good rifle.
What about this J.D. Tippit
Yeah,
thing?
it seems like Lee Harvey Oswald killed this cop. So it seems like when Lee Harvey Oswald was taking off, he had an altercation with this cop, and he shot the cop.
4 times.
Yeah. Well, that's why I don't think Lee Harvey Oswald was innocent. I think he was in on it. But I think he was the setup. He was the patsy, and they were going to have him go down for it. Whether or not he actually killed Kennedy, he might have. Look, if he shot him in the back, if that one shot from the back was Lee Harvey Oswald, maybe that would have killed Kennedy. Maybe that was the one that killed him.